a second point is this. Well, Obi, I understand, like, like what he's trying. I mean, at least what he's saying he's trying to do is noble. It
I agree.
is.
I agree.
It's, yeah, but this is the problem with it. It's counterproductive to have had in upwards of maybe like 70 shows. None of these women are the solution. They're the problem. The show, and I made a comment on your stream, Ed. The show shouldn't be called "We Need to Talk." The show should be called "See, this is what we talking about."
Well, that's another thing. Well,
That's a
that's
good
another thing
point.
he said. He made it very clear. And by the
All right, welcome back to another episode. This is Mike Perkins, one half of MVP, one half of Mike and Vince Perkins, one half of Opinions I Like Podcasts, and with this here, I'm the host show. If you saw the clip in the beginning, if you've seen this on YouTube or listening to it on any of your Apple, Spotify, or whatever, that clip in the beginning, that was about a podcast. It's called We Need to Talk. I think the guy's name is Obi Allen. Or Allen of some sort, but the main guy, the guy whose voice that you hear talking, I'll put the link to his actual podcast in the description. That was me on Bernard's show. It was a Saturday show. The link to that will be in the description as well. The title of that show was "Do We Blame Women for Everything?" And we got to talking about the guy from We Need to Talk. He has a segment of his show. It's called Kevin Samuels Started This Conversation, in which he has women sitting in the chair and they're talking and they're espousing all of the things that we as men, black men, know are kind of hindering black women from being more married, being in healthy, committed relationships, giving them overall better outcomes. Now, Obi, his ideology is that he's trying to restore the community and trying to restore black relationships, black love, and having those conversations. He's trying to repair what is broken with these women. But in my comment, or my observation of his show, it's not what he's doing. He's essentially just facilitating a space for women to talk, maybe see themselves, maybe they see themselves and maybe they look crazy to them. I don't know. But he's only having women that are an example of the problem and not women that are an example of the actual solution. So his mission, although it's noble, is very, very counterproductive because he doesn't have any example. Like, he can't keep just showing us Courtney Michelle and just keep saying, okay, Courtney Michelle. You need another trick, bruh. You need another trick. Because dudes, when men are talking about women, black women, when black men are talking about black women and their contribution to the problem, it's not as a means to really put them down. It sounds like it because, if you've had a 60-year run of not being held accountable and then somebody says, hey, you did that wrong, it may sound like offensive. But the reality of it is that eventually the proverbial chickens were going to come home to roost. You can't keep making bad decisions, getting bad outcomes, and then thinking that nobody's going to say anything. And what these women are getting is what they've put out for a very, very long time. And some of these women, most of these women are not 60, obviously. They're in their 30s, maybe their late 20s. But still, what they're getting back is all of the bad decisions that black women have made and the critiques based on those things. What Obi Allen is trying to do, and again, it's noble, is he's trying to talk these women out of the conditioning and the culture conditioning that they've been under. And it's impossible. It's a lesson in futility. You know what I'm saying? It's a lesson in futility. Most of these women do not believe that anything that they're saying is wrong. Most of these women do not believe. You can hit them with logic. You can hit them with all of the things in the world. The thing that is going to change these women's minds is a change in environment. So that Obi Allen is against SYSBM. He sees it as the male version of divestors. Of course it's not, because it's black men acting in their own best interest. It's, leaving the bad things of the culture alone. It's not necessarily saying, you're going to just, not be with any black women rather. You're not going to be with any black women. But it's just to say, get away from those things that are bad about the culture. The ghetto stuff, the twerking online, the stripper culture, whole phases, hot girl summer, so on and so forth. Let's get away from those things, because those things do not build anything. You can't build anything with those things. But hating that and then wanting women to act better is spoiling women and trying to change them in the environment that spoiled them. See, in this environment, there's no consequence. In the environment of men acting in their own best interest, which is what SYSBM is about, in that environment, women have to act in the best interest of the group. Because if they don't, then they don't get resources, provisions, and protection. They don't get any of that. Because there will be no reason for a guy to give you, because you're not acting in the best interest of the group. You're acting in your own selfish interest. And that's fine. But then men can say, I'm taking my resources and I'm going elsewhere. I'm taking my protection and my leadership and my authority and I'm going elsewhere. I'm the resource. The man is the resource. And a lot of the problem with what Obi is trying to do is that he's approaching it from a, please, can you do this? You're approaching it from a submissive standpoint. You're asking these women to do it. When in actuality, what should be happening is that the women should feel. They should feel that they should be doing it. They should feel it. And they should feel it when they don't. Like, for example, I know most women don't understand gravity. They know the basic principle of it. You know what I'm saying? But they don't understand gravity. Like, they don't know that acceleration, if something drops from off of a building, acceleration is 9.8 meters per second squared, or centripetal force, or anything. Most women don't understand any of that stuff. But they know if they jump their ass off a building, they're gonna hit the floor. They're gonna splat on the fucking ground. They respect gravity because they know the consequences for not respecting gravity is death. Now, it's not because gravity is gonna whoop their ass, but gravity is just gonna be gravity. You need to change the environment around them and let them know that, look, I'm not gonna touch you. I don't have to kill you, but I don't have to save you. If you're in $200,000 worth of debt, that's your business. It's not mine. You're strong and independent. You don't need no man. But what we're trying to do is, or what Obi is trying to do, is talk them out of it. Sir, there's no way that you can talk a crazy person out of crazy. They're crazy out their mind. If you think you're strong and independent and don't need no man, you're clearly cuckoo. And the problem with a lot of the cuckoo nonsense is that we try to act like talking to them is going to be the thing and making them understand. No. You can't talk to them. You have to talk to the men and encourage the men to act in their own best interest so that the women have to adapt to the environment. You can't bring us together under the guise of, we got to have a conversation. There's wrongs on both sides. Let's say there are wrongs on both sides. I'll accept that. I'll accept your premise. It still needs to be man, woman, and child. And the women aren't acting in that way. You don't get a submissive woman because she chooses to be. It has to be in her best interest. Just like women, again, don't jump off of buildings because it's not in their best interest. If they could fly, they would jump, but they can't. The environment dictates what women will do, and we have to change the environment. And the more we're changing the environment, i.e. acting in our own best interest, And if a black woman is in your best interest, that's wonderful. If she's not, that's wonderful. Act in your own best interest changes the environment so that then they have to change, as opposed to trying to talk to women who really aren't interested in anything that you're saying. They just want to be on your show because you got 30,000, subscribers. You're going to put their Instagram at the bottom. You know what I'm saying? Like, and this is the thing I would want to know. If you found, and I think it's around 70 shows, if you found 70 women who are the problem, clearly they're the problem. Where are the 70 or 35 or 10, motherfucker, 10 women who are the solution? Again, you can't keep giving us Courtney Michelle. You can't keep giving us Courtney Michelle because she's breaking down. A lot of the stuff that she has said is breaking down. I'm sure she's a lovely woman. I'm sure all of the women that you had on there, I'm sure they're not horrible people, but they are part of the problem. Courtney Michelle, I'm sure she's a wonderful woman, but she's breaking down. A lot of the self-interest, that she has is being exposed. Because you ask 2 questions deep and it becomes, well, I just want what I want. And that's fine. But it's not in the best interest of black men. Black men have to act in their own best interest to change the environment. Because again, that's the only way they're going to change. They don't have a reason to now. Because men are saying, we're going to be with you regardless. Well, then what does that mean? If a woman can do you wrong and do you wrong, and you ain't never gonna leave and you just trying to work it out, what reason does she have to do anything different? That's what you're saying. Keep the same toxic kind of woman and just try to make her better. Somehow, I don't know how she's gonna change. Because those 70 women that you've had on your show, they ain't the business. They ain't the business at all. They are not the business. But that's my time, man. I'm gonna get on out of here. I'm gonna try to do another one on this because a couple other things that I said on there that I might go over. But this is Mike Perkins, and I am out.